It's New Brew Thursday! Woo! We're doing Surly Wet.
We're doing Surly Wet. It's wet.
It is
Oh
wet.
God, I was really
We're waiting for
that
those,
joke.
yes.
All right.
So this is a wet hopped beer.
Just get it out of the way now.
It's so wet.
It's wet. Okay.
Wow.
It is.
Oh dear Lord.
There's a lot of
Well, okay,
condensation.
From the man who didn't want any tangents tonight.
What exactly is a wet hopped beer, Steven?
Wet hopping is also known as fresh hopping. So basically, the hops are taken and put into the beer. It doesn't really matter when, but the type of hops that are used are not dried out. They're completely fresh right off the vine, so they have a lot of the juices and the wetness of the fresh hop versus hops that are dried out and used for the most part. Usually they use dry hops because it's easier to do it.
I thought,
But it has nothing to do with dry hopping a beer.
it doesn't have anything to do with when it's added in the process.
No, like dry hopping has to do with like if you drink a dry hopped beer, it means that they put more hops in it after it was fermented.
Okay.
But wet hopping has nothing. It's not like
not the
I like
opposite
dry
of
hopped
dry.
versus
So you're
wet
just
hop.
using a raw hop.
Yeah, you're using a raw hop straight off the vine.
Raw
Like
hop.
on the back of the can, it says day 1 the hops were picked, day 2 they were shipped, day 4 they're tossed in the
I should have read the back of the can.
Yeah, so
So you could have
The only
a
delay
wet,
from the
dry
deal-
hopped beer.
Yes.
So basically, when you're having a wet hopped beer, you're drinking the freshest hops they can find, and they throw it in there. And so typically, there's more poundage of hops.
Poundage.
Like they say, there's 2,400 pounds of hops in this, but doesn't mean that that's more than like some other beer that has less dry hops in them because
It
you're
just
getting a lot
sounds
more.
cool.
Yeah, you're getting a lot more weight in the hops
I can see. Okay, because they're wet.
because they're wet. Yeah.
It's wet.
So
Poundage.
poundage.
All right, so let's crack these puppies open.
Now, Surly is a Minnesota brew, and so
Yes.
if you don't live in Minnesota, in fact, if you don't live in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the Twin Cities area, you're
Yes.
probably not going to find this beer anywhere. And even the Surly Wet is a rare beer, even in that area. So
Right.
I was
And
very happy
You
when I
actually
found
flew
these.
all the way to Minnesota to
Flew
get
all the
this
way to
beer.
Minnesota to get this beer and bring it back for you.
That's how
That's
hardcore
much I love
Steve
you.
is, and that's how much I love Steve. I'm gonna give him a hug for that.
And I'm hugging the audience.
And we're
'cause I love
matching.
you.
See?
Yes, I did.
Not that that
I
means
brought back
anything.
some swag and some accoutrements.
Yeah.
I've actually been asked if I work for Surly Brewing Company.
You are a surly whore.
I am a surly whore because Omar is just, he's so luscious and he makes great beer.
He's a good pimp.
He is. he treats his hoes well.
And he
So,
likes frisbee.
This
He
smells
does like frisbee golf.
very good.
Yeah, we had a blast up at Darkness Day. I brought these beers back then, so these are probably a little bit older than they should be, but we did keep them pretty cold for the
I
entire
mean, we've
time.
had them
so
for what, 2.5?
2.5 weeks, something like that.
ish.
Yeah.
They're not that old.
But it's a fantastic beer anyway. I mean, this is
Wow.
fresh. It's amazing. This is considered fresh as far as I'm concerned.
You do get that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, yeah.
You do get that grassy smell.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely see what people are talking about when they mention a grassy smell from a wet hopped beer, but you get the hop bite on the
Yeah.
taste. It's
This is to me like
it's interesting.
you asked on Twitter a couple weeks back, like, what's your favorite lawnmower beer? Like beer that you drink after mowing the lawn. And I put something like this up there because
Honestly, this would be a
it
very
pairs
solid
really
pairing.
well with it pairs really well with the cut grass,
Yeah.
And people say grassy as though it's a bad thing, and I don't necessarily get a bad flavor off grassiness. I think that when you deal with an IPA, you get that like bitterness of the hop, and it smacks you in the face. The grassiness to me kind of cuts through that a little bit, and they kind of intermingle a little bit. So
Yeah.
it tones the smack in the face
not
down a
as
little
bitter.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just kind of gives it a nice, fresh,
Earthy
clean,
taste.
earthy taste to
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
No, a lot of people like grass,
Well, a lot of people drink wheatgrass. Am I right?
That grass too.
Didn't,
That grass
California
too.
didn't like it enough to make it legal,
Yeah.
but
Wheatgrass is legal, but Prop 19.
Not for long. First for Loco, next wheatgrass.
Seriously, that's a
That's
whole
what happens when the government gets involved.
Tangents.
Tangents.
Coming back to the beer.
So today we're pairing this with a nice gorgonzola cheese and a sharp cheddar cheese, both of which will play very nicely with the hops, the IPA, the bitterness of it, cut through it.
Going for the sharp cheddar.
And there's amazingly still some of this gorgonzola left.
I know. Seriously, I had to smack his hand away for the show, dude. It's really good though.
Wow. I get a lot of bitter with this. Like from the...
That's totally going to accentuate the hop character in it.
Wow. It's good.
See, the gorgonzola just cuts right through the bitterness. You get that nice creamy buttery taste from the cheese and brings out a lot of sweetness.
Yeah, this totally accentuates the hops.
Yeah. You had the aged cheddar?
The cheddar, that's what I just had,
Yeah.
I'm going to try the gorgonzola now.
Like a IPA.
And we were running a little late tonight, so these cheeses actually came from just a standard grocery store. So, I mean...
And they work?
Yeah. I mean, because, like...
Oh, that's good.
I got to thinking when I was actually looking for stuff, like, because normally we go to a gourmet cheese shop and we kind of get a little crazy with the food that we get. But, you know, a lot of people in Minneapolis, Minnesota, there's tons of great gourmet places out there. But there's also, like, because it's not like here where here's a shop devoted to cheese. Yeah. And here's a shop devoted to chocolate cupcakes. Like, what? There you get a better selection of cheeses in your local grocery store. And so you can find stuff like this. So I tried to do something that would be typical in a normal grocery store.
It's a good, example of how you can find some pretty good stuff in the grocery store. Like I know the store that we bought this from, they have the standard cheese section and then they have the exotic cheese section. Right. Mm-hmm. Where there's not really that many exotic cheeses, really. It's still the same stuff, but you do get the gorgonzolas and maybe a different cheddar.
And generally it's made by a better producer.
Yeah.
You know, because there's a lot of stuff that you see in the typical cheese aisle. The Land O'Lakes and the Velveeta and... No, those are not cheeses that you pair beer with. Yeah. So those are cheeses you make.
Well, overall, this is... I mean, I'm going to say this because I'm sure a lot of Surly fans have said this. I wish they distributed it out here. I wish Omar would just explode. His brewery would just get totally huge and they could, you know, distribute all over the nation. But
I like Omar's stance on it, that they're doing very well. They're having a good time. They're enjoying themselves.
Oh yeah, so do I.
And so they're like, he's like, I don't want to expand at this point.
I just wish I could drink this beer.
Yeah, exactly. So they've actually limited their distribution from where it was before. They used to go into parts of Chicago, some South Dakota, deeper into Minnesota, and they actually pulled back strictly to the Twin Cities, greater Twin Cities area. So I mean,
well, it does make this beer that much more special than.
Oh, absolutely. And I think for the people in Minneapolis, you know, it's nice that they have something this amazing nearby. Because
actually, didn't Omar ask you not to do?
Yeah, but the first time I met Omar was Darkness Day 2000, not Darkness Day, but 2009 Darkness release at Monk's Cafe in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Right.
And I was talking to him like, oh, dude, I so got to come to your brewery and do a show. And he's like, yeah, we really can't have the exposure at this point. But you know what? I just can't not do a show on Surly Brewing. I'm sorry, Omar. I apologize. I'm giving you some exposure. And, you know, but yeah, it's a great beer. And it's, you know, because it's in a can, a lot of their beers are in cans. It's easier to trade, so it's easier to get this beer if you want to trade for it and that kind of stuff.
That makes sense.
A lot of people in Minneapolis love to trade this beer because they know nobody can get it. Because I'm addicted to Furious. Furious is one of my all-time favorite IPAs, and so I would trade my mother for Furious.
Well, she's nice and close.
Yeah. Yes, she's right there. Delivery is quick and easy.
She's like, you don't have to trade me. I'll just buy it and ship it to you. No, Mom.
Ungrateful little
Deal's
jerk.
Deal's a deal.
Well, since we're...
No trade backs.
No trade backs. Sorry. Done. So yeah, but this is great. And keeping in line with that, and the fact that it's Thanksgiving today, apparently, we're going to be doing a Surly Master Pairings as well with our very own Surly Master Pairer.
We planned ahead.
Yes, totally. And this time, though, we're going to be doing Coffee Bender, which is also a phenomenal beer. So we're going to cut to that now.
Hey everybody, welcome to another Master Pairings with me, Bill Sysak, known as Dr. Bill in the beer community, and Steven Johnson.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Anyways, it's Thanksgiving.
Is it?
And we need a little pumpkin pie. And I thought, what better than a little Surly Coffee Bender? It is a porter with coffee added, and it's low alcohol. It's only 6.1.
5.1.
5.1. Whoa, sorry. So another great session beer. We've been doing some session beers lately, and I think it's going to go really well. I'm going to let you open your own.
This is a great breakfast beer. And unless you are a true craft beer fan, you don't know what a breakfast beer is, but this
Or an alcoholic.
Or an alcoholic. Soberly challenged. Come on now. This would go really good.
Pours beautifully.
Like at Darkness Day, Omar was walking around with a big Surly mug, and I wanted to pick up a couple of them, and I forgot.
Beautiful espresso note on the nose.
Oh, yeah. All kinds of coffee in this. The can even says that it's going to taste like an iced coffee drink.
It's delicious. I can see 5.1%. Not too high alcohol. Maybe say you're going to a Vikings game, something like that. You're gonna go out there and tailgate. This would be a perfect beer to get you started.
Beef you up, get you woken up for it.
Especially on a cold Sunday
Oh,
in the frozen tundra. That's if they went to Green Bay, but still, same kind of weather climate. So let's see how it holds up with the whipped cream, just a standard pumpkin pie, normal pumpkin spice spices. Tastes delicious. Ooh, really good.
Yeah.
The coffee plays into it, but it kind of subdues the coffee and it brings out all these spices. Nutmeg,
It
all
beats
spice.
up the pumpkin pie for sure.
Yeah, they play really well off of each other. I think it's really, really enjoyable. It's bringing out a lot of subtle nuances, and the coffee shows through on the mid palate, but you get all these pumpkin spices. The whipped cream's kind of subdued to get a little hint of vanilla in there, but it brings it out and it just plays really well, and it has a really nice finish. Very pleasant. It's just like having a cup of coffee with your...
exactly.
It's really like having a cup of coffee with your pie. I mean, it's really, really enjoyable.
One thing I don't like about pumpkin pie is it has a sickly sweet back end flavor to it that I can't deal with, but this really cuts that out and totally takes care of that. And you get just the nice spice, like you're talking, the spices and whatever, but you don't get that sickly sweet kind of back end when you pair it with the coffee.
I mean, most of America doesn't understand what you're talking about, sickly sweet for pumpkin pie. That's just wrong.
Sorry, that's just me. Like I said, I only have pumpkin pie once a year because of that thing.
So for those of you pumpkin pie haters out there, I'm sure you agree. But
hate mail can be sent to Steven at newbrewthursday.com.
it's actually quite enjoyable, and I really like it. So you know what, Steven? This is so interesting. This is wrong once again. But
do I feel like I'm at a Starbucks right now?
But I'm thinking, let's give this a shot.
This is going to be like kind of a beer float.
We make beer floats and stuff with, like Stone does for their smoked porter. They do birthday beer floats. So I just think it'd be interesting to give this a shot and try it.
Well, we never cheers this one either, so cheers.
Cheers. Sorry, Omar. But it's nice. It adds a little subtleness.
Gives it the Starbucks feel.
I could see, well, you know what? I could see what you could do is, instead of just whipped cream, you could make an ice cream float with this. This is a perfect beer to make an ice cream float. Just put some great French vanilla ice cream in and pour this over the top. It'll be fabulous.
Well, I'm a huge fan of Surly, so pretty much everything they do makes me happy.
One of the best craft breweries in Minnesota, no doubt.
This is one of my favorite coffee
and
beers.
in the Midwest.
So, yeah.
I'm sure you could pair this with all kinds of great desserts.
Coffee cake, obviously.
Yeah, coffee cake, no-brainer, chocolates, truffles.
Donuts.
Donuts, yes. Yes. Steven, thanks for having your...
One piece of pumpkin pie.
Your annual pumpkin pie slice with me.
Yes.
And bringing this great beer. And I think it was great. I hope you guys go out and get a chance to try it. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming.
Boom.
Was that Master Pairing as awesome for you as it was for me? You saw me drooling, right? Oh, my God.
That was the
whipped cream. Whipped cream on beer. That was the first time I've ever had whipped cream on beer.
Yeah, it was your only time you have pumpkin pie every
year. My one pumpkin pie for the year. Exactly. I will not eat pumpkin pie again.
When do I eat pumpkin pie more than once a year?
Once I have it that one time.
It makes it better. It makes it special.
It's the one time. So I went out this year to Darkness Day. It was a phenomenal event, just specifically to get Darkness for our anniversary party. Because I had to, we're going to have a one-year anniversary party. Surly has been probably one of my favorite breweries throughout this year. And so I couldn't have the one-year anniversary party without representing Surly. Yeah. And is that can moving?
It's like, it's like...
I'm like, what is happening with this can of beer right now?
It's got this hover
action. I'm sorry, that just totally distracted me. Is that can demonized or what's happening?
Yeah. But speaking of the anniversary party, it was completely awesome. I was kind of worried about
Dude,
Way more awesome than a moving can. Way more awesome.
Stress level for that was like through the roof, but it came together so well at the end. And
we opened a lot of good beer. There was a lot of awesome beer on tap that, you know.
Yeah, Churchill's, Ivan at Churchill's, David and Ivan at Churchill's totally hooked us up.
Yeah.
They got those guys. We love you guys. You guys are awesome and amazing, and I will hug you awkwardly every time I see you. It was so great getting all the people who have supported us in the local area that came out. Much. You guys were amazing. Such a blast.
All of our friends coming out, like to hang out, and it was just I was blown away.
Yeah.
Like I'm wandering around, Dr. Bill style, like pouring beer.
Pouring beer. Woo!
Like look at me, I'm a nobody. Pouring beer.
Yeah, I felt a little Rockstar-esque, and I'm like, I don't deserve this, but what's up?
It was fun.
We had a blast. And if you think this year was great, I'm gonna say it right now. Next year, we'll make this year look like it was Sunday picnic with your parents.
Hopefully, because I'm kind of worried about
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Oh, no, we're totally we're guns a-blazing. Guns a-blazing second year. Yeah. So, because that's going to be amazing.
If people ask anyone who was there, they'll say that it was, for our first anniversary party, it was very well done.
Yeah.
And we did open.
It was a great way to kick off San Diego Beer Week, which was freaking epic and amazing. And I'm so glad I had more time this year to totally get into San Diego Beer Week and had such a blast with it. But Omar, thank you very much for all the stuff that you did to help it make it possible for us to have Darkness there, and making great beer, and keep it up. Hopefully soon, if you decide you want to go out of Minnesota at all, just saying, San Diego, LA area would be phenomenal. So get on it.
And on that
note, stay safe and drink good beer. So surly.